What's going on, guys? It's your channel TFD back with another banger, and it looks like Nike has finally broken their silence about Caitlin Clark's signature shoe. This is the news we've all been waiting for, and for this one, we're taking it all the way up to Oregon. Let's get it, let's go. Yes, sir, the time has finally come, y'all. The $28 million deal is still on the table, and it's looking more real than ever because Nike CEO just wrapped up a huge interview with Fortune magazine. And guess what? It was all about Caitlin Clark and her highly anticipated signature shoe. Now listen, this is more than just a shoe. This is a monumental moment for the culture of women's basketball. The CEO went on record saying this is literally the rebirth of Nike. Signing Caitlin Clark, in his words, is like having Michael Jordan all over again. That's major. He let it be known that they're pulling out all the stops to make her signature shoe as big as the Jordan brand itself. And y'all, that's why it's taking so long. They want to make every decision count to position Caitlin at the very top of the sneaker game. And let me tell you, it's gonna be so worth the wait. I can already picture it. Caitlin Clark's logo, her pulling up from three, ice in her veins. You know that's gotta be the logo, right? Can you even imagine how iconic that's gonna be for women athletes around the world? Caitlin Clark is laying the groundwork, setting the foundation, and proving women can finally get their just due. But more than that, Caitlin herself is getting her just due as an athlete, a trendsetter, and honestly, the gatekeeper for all of women's sports right now. With all that being said, let's dive into this Nike CEO interview and break it all down. Roll the footage.
Nike is looking ahead.
We had Caitlin Clark here
Caitlin
today.
Clark this morning,
I think
yeah.
you saw that. So she was in yesterday working on her signature shoe that we'll launch, and we're working on her logo and her design of her logo.
She signed an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal with Nike in April of last year.
All right, so real quick, the CEO just spilled the beans on what Caitlin Clark's been up to. Now, if you've been paying attention, you probably remember the buzz about Caitlin being at Nike a couple of weeks ago. News dropped, but nobody really knew why she was there. Like a secret meeting, right? Well, turns out she was actually designing her logo and working on her signature shoe. Crazy, right? Now, here's the thing. I honestly believe her shoe isn't coming out this year, but I do think we'll see the prototypes hit the scene this year. Mark my words. At some point this season, Caitlin's gonna rock her own signature shoe before it officially drops. And trust me, when she does, that's gonna create serious demand for the shoe. People are gonna want it even more just because she's wearing it first and proving it's the real deal. Think about how the Kobe shoes performed. It's gonna be that type of hype. With all that said, let's get back to the footage and see what else the CEO had to say.
You're making it the largest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player. What was the motivation behind that, and what impact do you think it'll have on women's sports, certainly on the WNBA?
When we were running just basketball, we never got to the women's opportunity. But by having this small team that's focused on women's basketball, it unlocked, we believe, opportunities for the game of basketball, but also in product. It becomes an opportunity to grow the overall marketplace by inviting more and more girls into the world of sport. It is an area that we'll continue to invest in, and we see tremendous momentum right now.
Hill's new role comes at a critical time for Nike. Sales dropped in the last 3 quarters of 2024, and shares have slumped more than 43% since 2023. In an effort to clear out inventory, the company began offering massive discounts throughout.
Now, here's the thing. It's been reported that Nike sales have been slipping. I actually covered it last year, around the end of summer, when the news first started coming out. And man, Nike's sales have been going down bad. They've been focusing a lot on A'ja Wilson, Paige Buchers, but here's the kicker. There's been no men's shoe that's really taken them to the next level. You know, LeBron's shoes just aren't hitting like they used to, and they've even let go of Kyrie Irving. Then there's KD's shoes. Those aren't making waves either. The only shoes keeping the hype alive are Nike Dunks. Nike Heracus, and of course, your classic Air Force Ones. But let's be real. There hasn't been that one shoe to catapult them the way the Jordan brand did back in the day. I mean, the Air Force One was a game changer, right? But now, Nike's doing something interesting. They're bringing back a lot of old school shoes like the Nike Shokes, and honestly, I think it's a great move. It's almost like they're trying to reinvent themselves, similar to what Jordan's done with their retro styles. Now, if you're a sneakerhead like me, you know this is a major topic. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get back to the footage and see what else they're cooking up.
Throughout the year, slashing prices by as much as 30%. Hill says that approach has hurt the brand.
You said in the December earnings call, your first as Nike CEO, that Nike has become too promotional, offering too many discounts. I'm certainly not complaining, but what's your vision for how Nike should approach pricing and discounts and still uphold its brand value and market position?
There are moments in the traditional retail cycle where it makes sense to be promotional, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but we had become too promotional. In between those moments, we were even leveraging promotions to drive revenue. And frankly, that's not great for margin. It's not great for the brand. It's not great for our wholesale partners because, they end up competing against us and profitability matters for them. And so starting this spring, we're moving to a position where Nike Direct, both digital and physical, is going to actually lead the marketplace and be not only less promotional, but elevate the experience that the consumer has with our brand.
Nike also faced backlash over its direct-to-consumer sales strategy. Before the pandemic, it started to pull back from large wholesalers like Foot Locker and Dick's Sporting Goods to focus on its own brick-and-mortar stores and e-commerce. Now, that strategy is changing.
Pre-pandemic, Nike severed ties with retailers, wanted to focus more on direct-to-consumer. What are your plans to evolve, to rebuild, your partnership with wholesale retailers like Foot Locker and so on?
I think it all starts with the consumer. There are consumers that want to shop choice, wholesale, either digital or physical. And the good news is it's a space that I spent a big part of my career. I have great relationships with our retailers,
Man, that was some serious insight from the Nike CEO dropping jewels about what's going on with the brand. It's been pretty wild to watch Nike's evolution over the years, right? And honestly, I gotta say, I thought Caitlin Clark deserved a bigger paycheck coming in. I mean, with how massive the Nike brand is globally, you'd think her deal would be closer to the $100 million or even $200 million range. But it's an 8-year deal, and while that's great, I'm thinking, could we have seen more? Now, I'm pretty sure that after those 8 years, Caitlin can go off and explore options like Reebok, Adidas, or whoever else, just like Kobe Bryant did. Remember, he left Adidas and made his legendary market Nike. So this whole brand switching thing isn't new at all. It happens all the time in the sports world. But what do you guys think? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. With Nike speaking so openly about Caitlin Clark, what does this all mean for her future in the game? Because trust me, I'm waiting for her signature shoe to drop. And when it does, I'm buying multiple pairs. Let me know what you think in the comments. And don't forget, like and subscribe for daily updates.